You know the 3 books that I got?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Edgar and separately Lang. Edgar acknowledged the information in the books, right? Lang did not accept knowledge of the books until yesterday. And the conversation I had with Lang yesterday was akin to a shared belief that those books are being left by the Faceless, rather than someone inside who's actually trying to scream out for help. A large part of it due to the fact that the writings indicate sort of a editorialized view of what's going on, right? There is no cannibalism. However, the speedy stuff is likely true. I think I had mentioned to y'all that there was DNA on the book. DNA doesn't come back to nobody. In having spoken to Lang, he definitely was of the mindset prior to, we're talking about way back, remember when I first overheard their stuff? It was already sort of spiraling that they got spies on the inside, right? And sort of to cut to the chase here, the mere fact that when we approached them at the gate just now, and they didn't even really, I think they were taken aback a bit that he might die, but I think they knew something was going to happen to him, because why did they not, just like they have with everyone else in there, demand his body? Why weren't they on his emergency contact list? Why did they not immediately go to the hospital? Right? Furthermore, Eliza, when she pulled me aside to have a talk, she sort of was pushing me down the angle of maybe the Faceless did it to him. And I will say that until we got to that gate, that was what was in the back of my mind. I'm like, okay, I know Barrick's been involved, as a target of the Faceless before. That's a possibility. It could have been the Babylonians. It could have been a number of things. But the way that they were reacting at that gate, and the fact that I don't really think that the Faceless would have double tapped him and dumped him, like, it is more likely than not, it was the Babylonians. In fact, it might have even been Lang.
I mean, now that you mention it, when I told Bazin that he was hurt, he didn't even ask how, where is he, any of that. Just kind of brushed it off and said he'd keep an eye out.
Yeah. Yep. I'm also suspecting that, Jimbo saying it's the Babylonians. There may have been things that may not have been told to him, but the circumstances that we just don't know of, right? Like what he saw, or maybe the conversation maybe he had at the gate may have also alluded to that. The issue is, unless outside of a hot gun, what the fuck are we gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I was asking them, when they came over and all those people, and they sent them back.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them, does anyone else inside know anything about it? Has anyone spoken to him? And Paulie came over, and Paulie was like, hey guys, what's going on? And I said, I'm just here to, try and get some answers about a person that was hurt. And Paulie was like, oh, who got hurt? And I said, Beric, right as Clark was trying to say, don't worry about that. And then when I said Beric, they were like, Paulie, just keep it with security right now. Nobody else needs to know. Kind of thing.
I'm going to go on a limb here, and maybe everyone inside doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
I suspect that they thought Barrick was the mole. And that Barrick was writing the books. So they offed him.
Yeah.
And I pretty much alluded to that to Eliza. I was like, I think it was one of y'all. I don't think we're going to probably connect the dots. Realistically, without the gun. So here's how I play it out. I think we get the phone subpoena, right, for Barrick, if he so allows it. I think there's a possibility the perp's number is going to be on there prior to whatever happened, because the timeline window is pretty small. We can put a short list of suspicion with Alfonso. I'm going to be honest, probably being towards the top. His reaction of, I can't believe this, or whatever. Wait, what the fuck did he say? I wrote it down. I can't believe it was odd because he would not have known, right? They were all shocked, but where did he learn of this? You know what I mean? He was like preemptively shocked to information he doesn't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. But in doing so, we still need the gun because it would just be speculation. So, given that I am speaking directly with Lang on the bigger threat, I think someone else should go down the line of poking to see who was behind this, so that I don't influence bias from what Lang has told me. I don't want to be blinded by what Lang might be providing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Oh, third option. Edgar de Castillo. Edgar could have been the guy behind it as well. The problem with Edgar, so Edgar was very forthcoming the initial day after his little trial. However, since then, his next two conversations, because this last Monday, he was supposed to give me something. I don't know what that something was. Something bigger and larger than life that would like crack the case. Now, keep in mind that Edgar is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like exaggerating person. Mm-hmm. Like he could have like a bullet and it could be like, oh my God, you're never going to believe what I got. You know what I mean? He like exaggerates and so he said Monday he was going to give me some big drop. Didn't come. He gave me a call like late at night. So he gave me a call and then I was busy with something. I don't remember. It might have been God knows what. And then didn't call me until 30 minutes before he had to go to sleep. And it was really like the script had flipped. It went from being very, he wanted to work with us to get rid of the Faceless, to now this conversation that Monday night was more like, you're telling me you need this information. You need me type of thing. And I'm trying to get him to explain. I'm like, brother, you're the one who's getting like fucking threats of bombs dropping over your head, right? You need us, right? Like it was a very odd flip that he did. And that same energy I dealt with 2 days ago. And when I spoke to Lang yesterday, Lang himself doesn't trust Edgar. So all that turmoil from way back when, you know, with the whole going back to that court case, all that turmoil that was taking place with Benicio getting shot, and what's the guy's name? Fucking their priest, Sebas, not wearing his clothes or whatever. That shit's still ongoing. Lang don't trust Edgar. I think Lang still wonders whether whose side Edgar's even on. And the reason I bring this up is I don't want to poison the well here, right? Because we don't know. It's speculation. I don't think it's Faceless. It's a possibility that just like Speedy was attacked, just as Edgar was attacked over the shit that they did to the Faces, that maybe they did go after Barrick, right? Like they did a long time ago. But they wouldn't have done it like this. It would have been helicopters and shit. Is it people in Babylon? Possibly. Because I think they might have thought Barrick was the guy writing these books and try to expose them, and possibly working for the Faces. But it's also likely, I'd say number one suspect, people in New Babylon. Number two, Edgar specifically. Because he's a loose cannon. Because one minute, you know, he's slapping your ass, the next minute he's got a gun to your head. You know what I mean? It's very erratic.
Is he still in New Babylon?
He was there
Edgar?
at the gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's what makes it weird, right? Fucking his entire old gang, except for Paul, is still there. But you know, it's only
tomorrow. I'm gonna try and listen in on their meeting again.
I think only do that per happenstance. You know what I mean? If you happen upon it.
They say anything about who do you call it? Barrick?
I think that I want to word this well. You have a good head on your shoulders, right? So I'm going to explain it in a way that I think you understand. Is that I think when you and I happen to cross their meeting, I think that's fine. But I don't think we should go there unless we come across it happenstance. You know what I mean? Just as much as we wouldn't want someone coming to our meeting after tsunami. You know what I mean? Is that if we happen upon it, I think that's fine. There's also the second risk factor, right? I don't want us to aggro them like if they catch one of us listening, right? If by happenstance you go by and you're like, oh shit, they're talking, I think that's fine. But is that kind of making sense what I'm trying to convey here?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get you.
Do you think with Edgar that when he brought CJ to the hospital and he was screaming that Lang has no guts, that he saw no future for himself in New Babylon, and then a day goes by and he sees that there's like infighting going on at New Babylon, and he sees an in for himself to start leading it. That's why he stuck around, and he doesn't want to give you the information.
I don't think so. I think something, I don't know. I genuinely am dumbstruck that Edgar flipped. And the only reason I can think he flipped is that Faceless is no longer after him. I think he did something. I don't know what that something is. Because you don't in one moment, like all week, you're like, the bomb, we got to kill the Faceless. Because Lang was very, I'm going to give you guys some background. Lang and I have a shitload of history, right? And there may be things that he's comfortable sharing with me, knowing that I'm not going to go tell everyone in the world, and you guys aren't just anyone, you know, I trust you with all my shit. He knows that shit ain't going to just get out into the wild. And for him to tell me directly that Edgar is like he doesn't even trust him, that's telling me something. And I like tie that with what Edgar's behavioral change was. I think he made a deal with the Faceless. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think Edgar is back sucking the dick. I think even Lang suspects that. Because how the fuck are 3 of his guys? They're all gone. He's like you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make no sense. They're all like at Civil War. 3 of them have left. Princess is now gone, right? Where does that leave Edgar, right? Who's Edgar got?
Yeah, I don't get why he's there.
You know, the other thing that's interesting is that Paulie did not leave New Babylon for Princess and Benicio, etc. That day, Paulie was there. He stood with New Babylon. I think Edgar doesn't know what side to go to. I think he lost the Game of Thrones. Like, who's that character in Game of Thrones? You know, the one that's like flip-flopping?
Littlefinger?
Yeah, it's kind of like Littlefinger. So
Paulie was the one that was in the ICU, wasn't he?
No, what, in the ICU?
Yeah, but Paulie's Princess Elena's like boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, right?
No, that's Benicio.
Oh, that's Benicio. Okay. Didn't he leave with New Babylon? Wait, so he's not in there anymore.
Yeah, so Elena left because Benicio broke up with her. Speedy didn't want her to leave because of somebody else.
Yeah.
Elena told Benicio that, and then Speedy confronted Benicio and Elena at the Ashen Tree, and then they had a shootout.
Yeah.
But they didn't shoot Elena. They let her leave.
Yeah, but that day, Benicio came out of the ICU and Elena was in the waiting room, and he just walked by her as he was leaving and then left with New Babylon.
He was wearing his regular, his, no. I'm pretty sure he left with Elena, who was wearing regular clothes.
No, Elena was in normal clothes, but he walked out with someone from New Babylon, and she was like trailing behind.
Right. I mean, maybe they were going for a chat. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I mean, he said, the way he was speaking about it, when I said, do you feel like you're still welcome at New Babylon? Or you still belong in New Babylon? He was like, well, I'm wearing the clothes.
Yeah.
God, this New Babylon shit is so messy. It's like so many things that could be happening.
I think that's why it's better for us to kind of zoom out.
Yeah.
And kind of face reality is like, I want to be clear here. If we know who did it and we can prove it, we should push charges. But realistically, it's just so unlikely if we don't even know where the bullet casing is.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? If Barrick wakes up and remembers.
Yeah, that would be helpful, but he has to wake up soon. And I don't think he will.
Yeah.
His blood was like along the grass, like he had been dragged along the grass from like this path here, maybe from the car park. Actually, I haven't checked the car park.
Let's get on channel 9.
Coming back. Recheck.
10-2.
Can do.
Yeah, I mean, because without that bullet, there ain't shit. I will say that one of them may admit to it eventually. But
Yeah. He was just more than likely transported here and then left.
yeah, chat, I don't want to make it clear